If you do the part with that particular song, I imagined it much slower.
If we do the part? Kelsey, my sawed-off Sondheim. I've been in 17 school productions. And how many times have your compositions been selected?
This would be the first.
Which tells us what?
That I need to write you more solos?
No, it tells us that you do not offer direction, suggestion, or commentary. And you should be thankful that me and Ryan are here to lift your music out of its current obscurity. Are we clear?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, Sharpay.
Nice talking to you.
Okay, this isn't exactly the best first impression to get my point across, but hear me out. Hello everyone, my name's Aloubell, and I have a soft spot for High School Musical. It came out in 2006 on Disney Channel when I was in middle school, with the third and final movie coming out in 2008 in theaters. The story revolves around a teenager named Troy Bolton, played by Zac Efron, who attends a high school called East High, where he is the star basketball player with high expectations put onto him. For the longest time, his whole world was his team and basketball. That is, until he met Gabriella Montez, played by Vanessa Hudgens, who helped him to discover his talent and love for singing and theater. This newfound love creates various forms of tension throughout the movies, which all ultimately becomes a tale of finding and being true to yourself. With catchy songs, amazing choreography, and a fun cast of characters, High School Musical became a good-spirited, cheesy, yet relatable classic loved by many, myself included. I was at the exact right age to appreciate these movies when they came out. I bought the CD for the first movie and even learned the "We're all in this together" dance when they had a segment on Disney Channel to teach it. Other kids in my middle school were even singing the songs. It was a good time. And while Troy and Gabriella were the heart and soul of the story, the general consensus of fans is that the best/most entertaining characters were the twins Sharpay and Ryan Evans, played by Ashley Tisdale and Lucas Grabeel respectively, the talented theater kids who served as the villains in the first movie, with Sharpay solely becoming the intentional inciter of problems for the next two movies. She was also so popular that she received her own spin-off movie called Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure in 2011, which just so happens to be the year that I graduated high school, just as a fun little tidbit. Since this video is about Sharpay, we'll just focus on her. Despite being the villain, Sharpay was very extra and charismatic, very self-confident, and did everything with pettiness and glittery pink pop style. She was very much the mean and entitled rich girl trope, and we loved her for it. Not a role model by any stretch of the imagination, Sharpay would go throughout the movies always attempting to sabotage her competition, Troy and Gabriella, while simultaneously trying to get with Troy, who was very much not interested. Ashley Tisdale ate up this role, and you can tell that she had a blast playing this character, which is such a stark contrast to her character Maddie Fitzpatrick from the Sweet Life series, also on Disney Channel. Anyway, keeping all of this info on Sharpay in mind, how the heck is she even remotely relatable? Well, like I mentioned before, Sharpay and her brother are the star theater kids of the school. Their whole lives were basically dedicated to singing, acting, and dancing. It was their passion and dream to perform on a large scale. It's unclear if they received special tutoring or lessons to become as good at performing as they were, or if they were just naturally good at it. Either way, it's a craft they work on for years and took it super seriously. One would say that Sharpay took it a bit too seriously to the point of being super entitled as well as putting others down. So you can only imagine the twins' frustration when two individuals who had almost never publicly sang and performed in front of a crowd before and had never shown any interest in performing showed up out of nowhere and threatened their usual spot as stars of the show. And then, as the story goes, the main characters did in fact win the spot as the stars of the show. To be fair, it was an open audition and the better performers got the part. That's showbiz, as they say. As talented as Sharpay and Ryan were, they weren't entitled to the positions in the musical. Plus, with the shenanigans they pulled, the two had built up some pretty bad karma, so of course they lost in a story like this. Intellectually, I get that. But tell me something similar hasn't happened to you to some degree. You work so hard at something and then someone else comes along and not only does it better but with less effort. You work hard on your artwork, hours and hours spent on your masterpiece. The technique is perfect with vibrant colors and forms. You post it online and you only get 10 likes. Meanwhile, someone posts a meme or reposts someone else's art and they get hundreds of thousands of likes. Myself and so many others have a YouTube channel where we come up with new ideas and put our heart and soul into scripts and props and equipment and editing and everything else. You have a dream to create content and entertain, but your greatest video only gets so many views, barely any likes or comments. And then someone posts a video of them playing with toys or slime or just opening up boxes and they get millions of subscribers. Or how about this one? You study for weeks on some big exam and even lose sleep on all-nighters. You get a B+ on this exam, but your classmate who never studied at all ends up getting an A+. The list goes on. Sharpay being sneaky and acting out in retaliation wasn't right, but her feeling hurt and threatened due to the circumstances made sense. And as unfair as the situation seemed, that's just how it goes sometimes. It doesn't make you feel any better, but it's realistic. There's one more way that Sharpay is relatable. But before we talk about that, if you're enjoying this video, then show me your fabulous side by hitting the like button and subscribe for more reviews, rants, and rewrites. If you want to support me even more, then click join and become a channel member where you can get cool perks such as, but not limited to, early access to videos as well as live streams. Follow me on my socials in the description and be sure to join our community Discord, link also in the description. If you're still watching at this point, put any pink emoji in the comments. Thank you! As I said earlier, Sharpay and her brother have trained and dreamed for years to be professional performers. They have skill and they know how to wow a crowd, so they have the qualifications for it. In High School Musical 3, Sharpay, Ryan, and a couple other candidates were being considered for a scholarship to Juilliard, a renowned college of the arts. Being able to go to said school would definitely make it easier for the twins to reach their dreams. But when it came time to receive the scholarship, Ryan got in, but Sharpay didn't. She instead got accepted into a more common university to continue her craft along with sticking around East High to help out with the drama department. Even though she didn't get the scholarship she wanted, Sharpay wasn't discouraged and still believes she could achieve her dreams. The future just looked a bit more uncertain. Fast forward a year and we catch up with Sharpay in her solo movie, Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure, where she is performing at a special event for her father. We don't quite know what her educational status is at this point, but we do know that she doesn't have a stable job and mostly just takes any little gig she can to show off her talents. Well, actually, her plan seems to be keep performing these small gigs until someone important notices her. When she really wants something, Sharpay is shown to go into it at 1000% effort, but since graduating high school, she seems a bit aimless. At first, there didn't seem to be much of a rush to fulfill her dream since she could just lounge in the comfort of her wealth. Because again, she is super stinking rich, but nevertheless, her life wasn't at all what she expected it to be. Why hadn't any important people recognized her talents? She should have been a star by now. Due to a misunderstanding, Sharpay finds herself in New York thinking she has a chance at Broadway, when it's just her dog Boy who is actually being given the chance. Discouraged, she still sees her dog's opportunity as her opportunity and she works hard to get him his time to shine. This was her last shot to try for her dream or else her dad was going to make her work for him, which scared Sharpay. During her adventures in New York, she runs into some roadblocks, including a significantly more modest living space, competition, and a bratty and manipulative Broadway star who takes advantage of Sharpay. Safe to say that her adventures led to Sharpay getting a heavy dose of humble pie and learning that reaching her dream wasn't easy. She had to come to a place where she finally realized she was scared and needed help. She also learned what kind of person she could become had she kept her more malicious personality traits as seen in not only her old self from the High School Musical series, but also in the Broadway star she used to admire. In the end, things ended up working out for Sharpay, and she got to have her happily ever after as a star on Broadway. Her story really speaks to me though. Growing up, I had so much potential as well. I almost always got A's, almost skipped a grade but declined due to reasons, excelled with the instruments I played, and had a knack and passion for art and creating. The sky was the limit, and there were expectations put on me, especially from my parents. Everyone saw my future as being bright, including myself. As a small child, I wanted to be a dentist, which delighted my parents. As I got older, I wanted to be an animator or an author or an artist of some sort. My high school band teacher believed I could have a career as a trumpet player, which I didn't want to do, by the way, but the expectation was there. But within my family, I was only given the options of law or healthcare, and I chose healthcare as a type of therapist. I had so much promise as the perfect grades would continue through college. I got my bachelor's and then I got my master's. Aside from my career, I had my other plan to be married by 25 and to be able to have my own house and pets, and everything was going to be just fine. All of these accomplishments, expectations, and dreams, and where am I today? 30 years old, making only several more dollars more than minimum wage, still living with my parents, and single. My 2 brothers don't have as high of a degree as I do, and yet they make more money than me. If something were to happen to our parents, they would probably be fine, but I'd most definitely be homeless. You know, if they didn't help me out, which I'm really certain they would, because they're cool like that. But I can barely contribute to the rent I owe, and after every paycheck and paying bills, I'm usually only left with $100 of my own. I'm stuck at a job I don't care for, with a degree that's only useful for this job and going further within this job, like becoming a supervisor or a doctor, and I just don't want it. The idea of furthering myself in this field scares me, and I'm so stressed out most of the time. My hours suck, and I don't have the time to have much of a life. Forget about socializing. Friends? No time for them. In high school, I just wanted a creative career, but wasn't allowed to try for it. So now I'm trying to play catch up and build my audience. It's all so much. It's a lot. God has honestly been really good to me, and He's the only reason I've been staying afloat, and I'm so grateful for every opportunity. But I'd be lying if I said that I was okay with everything going on. I'm sad, and I'm frustrated, and I don't know what to do. I know I want out of this job, and I'm being pressured to leave for something better. But with my degree, my only options are more healthcare, and I don't want that. So what do I want? I don't know. I mean, I do know. I want to be a creator and share my art and stories with the world, but that takes time, and I don't have time. Like Sharpay, I'm working on a time limit, and if I don't reach my goal, I'll be forced deeper into this field I don't like. I'm afraid that my dream will just stay a dream, and that it'll never be anything more than that. I started out with so much talent and promise, and I feel like it's all for naught. I feel like a burden and a disappointment. I'm in a state of limbo, and I just want to be free. Sharpay may not be relatable in a lot of ways. She's stupid rich, had 2 giant pink lockers of her own at school, boys drooled after her, had iced tea imported from England, lifeguards imported from Spain, towels imported from Turkey, and turkey imported from Maine. All the works. Not to mention her various schemes to get her way. But upon further inspection, she's still human with human experiences, and some of the stuff she went through is more real than anything the main characters experienced. At least in my opinion. She knows what it's like to see your dreams and your future slowly falling away from you, and to lose opportunities she was so ready for. It doesn't matter what you look like, how rich you are, or your talents. Sometimes life just throws you curveballs that you don't always know how to recover from. Sharpay, fortunately, did have a support system with a couple of friends and would have given up and potentially lost her dream if it weren't for them. Plus, it's a Disney movie and those have to have happy endings, so of course she got what she wanted at the end after learning her lessons, but real life doesn't always pan out like that. Nevertheless, I'm happy for her, and it gives me hope that someday soon something similar will happen for me. I have faith that God will get me there. I'll still be a bit sad here and there, but that spark of hope won't die out. In the meantime, I'll be waiting for the rest of my life to truly begin. And now I open the floor to all of you. Can you guys relate to Sharpay in some way? Do you like her character? Comment below and let's get this conversation started. I also recommend you guys listen to / watch Sharpay's song called The Rest of My Life from Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure. It's the final song of the movie, and it's just a really great celebration song of her finally getting her chance to shine and make her mark. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, just remember that I'm the artistic Aloubell. I review things, I rant sometimes, and rewrite stories occasionally. I'd appreciate it if you subscribed and joined the family of bells where we chill in the bell tower, adhere to the golden rule, and use cookies as our currency. If any part of this video spoke to you, feel free to leave a comment and a cookie. But as for now, that's all there is. There isn't any more.